coming by such and such. Have any of you heard that before? Did they not find out that it was a lie? And yet they stuck with it? That's a spirit of deception. Well, some people, you think they would wake up. Let me ask you, how many of you remember Jim Jones? Huh? How many of you remember Jim Jones? What happened there?
He deceived the people into thinking that God was coming and had them move clear to another country or island, and held them hostage, and then deceived them to drink cyanide.
Yeah. Even before he got to that point, he told them to burn their Bibles. That's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Right there should have been a time, it's time to get out of here, right? But he began to tell them crazy stuff and even admitted that he was the Messiah. How many times have we heard that? Through history, we see that has gone on. Hitler was another one. Idi Amin, Mussolini, many others have followed that trade even up to this date. We have many have come in the name of Christianity, but have deceived many, telling lies to folks that have tickling ears and want to hear something good and positive. How many of you have heard a thing called positive thinking? Yeah. And guess what? You can think positive all you want, but if your heart ain't right, it ain't positive, is it? Huh? Beware. That's what Jesus told us. Pay attention. Warning, warning, don't be deceived. Don't let nobody deceive you, not even your own self. No man or woman, that's you, right? Huh? It's important. It's important. Somebody always want to lie, put a lie in your ear, bug in your ear, don't they? Yes. How many of us have deceived somebody? Huh? And we knew we manipulated them. We know we wasn't telling them the truth, didn't we? Huh? Oh, man, that's a big one right there. How many of us paying for that too? Hmm? And you should hear wars, rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things shall come to pass, but the end is not yet. But then he tells us, what? For nation shall rise against nation. Nation. Who in nations? People. And kingdom against kingdom. If there's a kingdom, there must be a ruler. That's right. Whether it be a president, whether it be a prime minister, or whatever else, right? Are they people? Do politicians lie? Or are they professional at it? You don't have to answer that. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Have we heard any of these things happening in our day and age? Seem like it's exponential again, right? It's just mounting up, right? They were saying on the news, how true it is, I have not found out as of yet, but that they've had more hurricanes this year than they did in history. At one time, they've been named, they went through the whole list of them and had to start off with some more names. Anybody heard that one? I didn't hear that one the most, but I heard that they went through the whole alphabet. Yeah, that's quite a bit, isn't it? How many of you know we had a couple earthquakes in Kansas City? Huh? How many of you heard that one? You have? I was at work one time, and I remember they had that tremor. What has been about 4 or 5 years ago? Come through Kansas City. How many of you think Kansas City is a diverse place to have an earthquake? How many of you? How many of you know that we're living on a fault line? So it's actually a good place that one would happen. But how it goes through the Midwest is really weird. I can't even explain it. Part of it, I think, goes through Springfield or somewhere up there. You heard any of that, Reggie? Yeah. Well, if you ever look it up, talk about the fault line in Missouri or in the Midwest, it really we're in the path of it, but it rarely has happened. That's why it says diverse places. Many places that we've heard, they had a tornado there, they had a hurricane there, they had flooding there. That's strange to hear in some places, isn't it? That we never heard. This is what he's talking about. And with the statistics and reports that we hear through the news and weather stations, they saying a lot of these things haven't happened before. Well, this is what Jesus is also telling us about. But listen, he goes on to tell us, all these, verse 8, all these are what? The beginning of sorrows. The beginning of an end. Just the beginning. If it's this bad now, how worse will it be? Well, you know, Jesus was talking to the disciples then about the things that were going to come up on them as well, right? When Titus in AD 70 rode into Jerusalem and they were concerned about how beautiful the temple was, he told them stone after stone is going to be turned over, right? And it came to pass in AD 70 when Titus rode into Jerusalem. It also came to pass that in Jerusalem that they came in and took over again and again and again after that. So he let them know what was going on then, and he's still letting us know what is going on now, because prophecy deals with what? Past and future. So remember that when we study in the end time, okay? All right. All these are what? The beginning of sorrows. That's plural, right? So that means more than one thing, events. More than one event will happen. There are going to be numerous events that still will point to the prophetic times that we are living in on earth. All right? Any questions? Input? All right. We'll go on. You good, Rick? All right. And guess what he said? Then shall they deliver you. Who is you? Me and you that call ourselves Christians, up to be afflicted. What do you mean afflicted? What do they mean afflicted? Well, you know, I've heard some things about the church, that the church folks say that we as the people of God don't have to worry about being hurt and harmed because we're going to be raptured. Hello? I ain't going to be here for all this stuff that Jesus talked about because I'm going to be raptured. How many of us know that ain't true? That ain't true, according to God's word. Is that important to know? Yes, it is. Why? Because I'm being deceived. And why else would it be important to me to know? I got to be prepared. So if you tell me I won't be here and I'm unprepared, then if I'm here and it happened, I'm going to be unprepared. Right? And I don't want to be a saint that's unprepared. Do you? Huh? Because chances are that even my faith, I will turn around and give it up. Because of fear. Because of torment, persecution. This is where Jesus is getting to. We blessed right now. But don't you know in some third world countries and some in China and various other areas in Russia, behind the Iron Curtain, over even in South America, Christians are being persecuted for their faith. We have not gotten that quite so in America, not physical. They've actually died for their faith. They've been burned for their faith. Their children been cut up and different things for their faith. They gave their necks and heads, neck, whatever you want to call it, for their faith. We've had at least 2 people that were in Russia and went through some part of the persecution come to Calvary Chapel at one time or the other, or we have met ourselves personally. Am I right, love? Yeah. I don't know. Did Demetrius Dudamus come to Calvary Chapel? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And he was one that was behind the Iron Curtain in Russia that was went through persecution and lived to tell about it. And God used him in America to tell prophecies that were coming up on America. So God will not leave himself without a witness. All right? Everybody good so far? All right. And he says they're going to deliver you up to be afflicted. Verse 9, and shall kill you. Now, that's plain, isn't it? Did they do that to the disciples too? Did they do it because they were Christians? Yes. Did they do it because they would not deny the name of Jesus? Well, what makes you think we going to get by in our society if we live long enough? Already we are a hated name among society as a whole. Hello? How many times have you and I, well, I'll tell you what, I experienced this myself about bringing my Bible on the job and was told not to bring it. Anybody else? I experienced on my job that we had opportunity at one point to have prayer meetings on our job. And then somebody decided that that wasn't part of the the job experience, and they told us we couldn't do it no more. And they shut it down. I've had the opportunity at one time that I did bring my Bible to church. Church to work. And somebody got my Bible and wrote all in it. Just. But you see, then I've also known that if a Muslim come, they do this ritual where they can go and pray. They have to pray a certain time of day. That they go and honor that. Isn't something wrong with that? Huh? I can talk about sports. I can even talk some of the Muslim stuff. I can talk about the news. But anytime I talk about Jesus in the Bible, a red sign, alert flag points up in the church, in the work, saying that we can't do that. That's against policy. Isn't something wrong with that picture? And we supposed to be saying, God bless America? Huh? But you see how it's slowly fading out for us. What about school? Didn't we used to pray in school? Did they take it out? And we used to have the Bible in school? Are they letting it back in yet? No? But can y'all pray in school, Jordan? No? Huh? They do the Pledge of Allegiance? That must be in certain schools then. Do they? Third grade, okay. But no more. No more, especially since the pandemic, right? How many of you at your job, they honor Christianity? You? Which is not really Christianity, which is what? Catholic, right? But see, now the thing is what? Diversity. We all need to be one and respect one, but they won't respect Christianity. What's wrong with that picture? You don't have to face it at Rockhurst, right? Okay, I was going to say, if they got it at Rockhurst, something's wrong then, right? But you see, it has invaded all of our communities and areas in the world that we are active in, right? One of